All right, it's session 30. You are in Mordenkainen's Manor. You're currently scattered around the first couple of rooms, having not really made it much further than the hallway last time. Who wants to give a recap?
Well, I remember that we decided to go to the armory because we might have been able to find some gear that could be helpful. We had, I believe the previous session, we had fought against a bunch of skeletal knights and one that seemed to have some distinction in powers around cold, I want to say. And some of them scattered, some of them we were able to destroy in that previous session. And then when we went into the armory, we faced Bodaks that really messed us up, especially Hellweir, I believe.
It was not exactly that. You retreated after fighting the skeletal knights. So you started last session deciding whether or not to rest. You then decided to go back and head towards the armory. But in the same exact spot where you fought the skeletal knights, you opened the door, and there was just a field of blackness, and the Bodaks were trying to hide in it, hoping someone would be brave enough to cross the threshold.
That's right. And I managed to use the puzzle box to get a gem of brightness, which then I proceeded to use a whole bunch of charges trying to blind them.
Right. Yeah, because you're out of every fucking thing else.
Yes.
Because we did not long rest.
Right. Well, I mean, let's be honest. This is not an unusual situation for Lusharosi.
It should be.
Hey, the only battle that matters is the next one, because if you don't survive, there are no more battles after that. So
that is Lusharosi says that in character because Kurt can't make heads or tails of why that means anything here. So don't plan for the next battle, I guess, is the conclusion.
I remember the Bodaks, they didn't seem to have eyes, except they had eyes on their hands, right. I think. And then they attempted to drain the life force out of us. I think they got Hellweir really bad at one point. And then I want to say that maybe...
Then they got Daggerface.
Daggerface.
One time really good.
Yeah. We were able to take care of a couple of them. I think a few of them scattered.
There were three of them. Two of them you killed. One disappeared.
Yeah. And then we finally made it to the armory. Discovered a suit of armor and a longsword that we assume belonged to Regia, as well as a box full of gemstones and various currency. And then
the box was never opened, but it sounds like coins.
Okay. And then there was also a mimic that appeared to be like a handy haversack, which then Hellweir began trying to kill, and Lusharosi intervened to save it because it didn't seem to be attacking anybody.
The haversack was different. That was a separate item.
Okay.
I'm
really terrible at this. I'm going to stop because I'm just messing up everything from this recap.
I mean, you now have most of it. So Lusharosi did protect the mimic, which was diving between piles of junk that had fallen from some broken shelves, and it basically clung on to both Lusharosi and Hellweir at one point, trying to save itself. But you managed to subdue Hellweir, who I think was left with like 1 hit point. So he's in paper cut range of just passing out. And Servant then came in and identified the the mimic as Chester, who it seems like he lives here like, I don't know, a house cat or something. So it proceeded to follow Servant around. Some of you were then, Daggerface was like staring down a long hallway of indeterminate length that seems to disorient you when you try to determine how long it is. At the moment, Zarius and Kajika are also right by that hallway. And everyone else some people were like in the armory, and some people were thinking at least, or were going back to the banquet hall. And everybody was talking about like grouping up in different places.
Yeah.
Sounds like our group.
And we got some magic items and potions and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, there were a lot of potions.
Yes. Yeah, there were Kyotum's ointment doses, potions of healing. There was a potion of flying, a rope of climbing, the haversack itself.
Okay.
So I think you divvied that all up. If not, we'll forget it and it will never appear again.
Yeah.
I have the oil in one of the oils in my inventory.
Yeah, and I've got the potion of flying.
Lusharosi refused to take any of the potions.
Lusharosi took the longsword, though.
I did. Yeah, Lusharosi took the longsword. Zarius took the full plate.
Yeah, I think I've got climbing and potion of healing. So.
Right, and Daggerface had a potion of healing.
Flying.
It was like a full plate of resistance.
Fire resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took one of the Kyotum's ointments. So yeah, we're split with that.
Yeah, and it's probably best that Lusharosi didn't take the healing potions, because he'd probably use them all simultaneously
on the enemies.
No, on the NPCs.
Those plants that are all sitting in the banquet hall look sickly.
No, they should stop.
You are all scattered all over the place. Daggerface actually is no longer looking down the hallway, as he and T-Hole were having a discussion at one point. And then the two of them came back out of the banquet hall and went into the armory again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hellway would be like just digging around in the armory, and eventually he'd yell out to Kajika. I'd be like, "How heavy is that emerald thing out there?"
I'm not sure.
I would then go out there and have a look at it and try and push it, see how heavy it is.
Where'd Daggerface go?
Daggerface is in the armory.
Is he with somebody or just roaming free?
He's with T-Hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Lusharosi would eventually try to find everybody and ask that we try to group together. Since we don't know what else might be lurking behind corners, it would be better that we're reducing risk and keeping our numbers up. And then determine where we're going to go next.
That's fair.
So Lusharosi would probably ask that we step back into the banquet hall, just since that's been kind of our base of operations so far, or at least in the hall next to the banquet hall, since it seems people are already gathered by that gem.
That works.
Oh yeah, there's that body.
Yeah, we fought like what, 3 of those things. We only killed the one.
Killed 2.
Oh, we did kill 2. Okay, and then
Yeah, one of them ran away.
Ran away.
Lusharosi would then kind of look to everybody and ask, who has the map to the manor?
Well,
That may be you, as you were mostly talking to the servant, but I don't really remember who he gave it to myself.
Okay, I'm fine with saying that I have it. So then Lusharosi would pull out the map and kind of look at it. You notice Lusharosi definitely appears very weary. And then after looking at it for a moment, he points out there's a chapel actually just around the corner. Perhaps that would be a place for us to check out. I know that I have some prayers that I need to recite, and it might be a good place for us to try and rest. Perhaps it is sacred, and these creatures are less likely to be in that area.
Did your god keep anything of worth in his chapels?
I don't presume that this chapel is directly to Asheros, but hallowed ground is hallowed ground.
Until it is broken.
Well, I don't think we can take much for granted in this place. It seems the demons have had quite a while to prepare. On top of that, with the time warp, I'm sure that some rooms are more prepared than others. So we should at least be on our guard.
I agree, we do need to exercise caution, but I'm not sure that that they would necessarily be preparing. The time warps in this place are strange. Some areas time moves faster, others slower. And if the time has moved slowly enough in some of these rooms, we may be coming just moments after they themselves had gotten there. They may just be as surprised as we would be to encounter any creatures.
But we can only hope.
We're not going anywhere until I take this thing to the front door, and I try and lift the emerald.
It is completely fused to the floor, so there's no lifting it.
Fuck.
However,
Kick it a bit.
that gemstone contains a creature. I do not think it is wise to play with such things. There's no telling what might have caused that creature to become encased in the gemstones.
Well, it's not here now because we are not like it.
These creatures, we don't know how they are. We don't know if this may have been a magical trap from Mordenkainen himself.
Yes, I agree that we should probably just leave the gemstones where they're at. I mean, we'll have to come back through anyway. So if we're not trying to run as fast as we can once we meet Paradonna, then we can always pick up the gemstone then.
Daggerface, why are your eyes leaking?
I don't know what you mean. And he runs off.
Someone should go after him.
Where did he run off to?
He ran deeper into the armory.
I'm going to follow him. So as Lusharosi tries to find Daggerface, how does he appear?
He's towards the back of the armory, so around where Zarius is. When you approach him, you see that he wasn't wearing his helmet at the time you initially saw him looking upset and running off, but he's since put it on. So it's hard to tell.
Okay. Daggerface, have you composed yourself?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. Are you all right?
And he just walks away.
All right. So as we all come back together, Lusharosi brings out the map and points to where the chapel is based on servants' drawings.
Zarius will actually, just out of curiosity, pull out that that one magical map that tracks Solosri.
Right.
Just on the off chance it's here.
The map is blank except for the one dot in the center of it.
Okay.
Lusharosi looks over with a glimmer of hope, but seems even more deflated after seeing it.
You like look over and I'm like,
So Lusharosi says, so we need to go down the hall towards the alchemical laboratory. Some of those creatures that we saw before, I think I recall them going that way. We will certainly need to be on our guard.
Yes, well, let's head that way then.
if there is more combat, not all of us may survive.
I will take the lead. Zarius, it will be important for you to stay protected, whether that means you would be better off somewhere in the middle or towards the end of the group as we proceed. You are our best hope for any healing and Asheros forbid need for resurrection.
And I'll take the rear. I don't want to get as beat up as Helweir did. I don't have the stamina that he does.
As you talk, you see Servant and Chester are just sort of moving in and out of the banquet hall, carrying plants with them, and going off down the various hallways.
So, Daggerface or Helweir, would either of you like to join me up front?
Bye. I just stomp forward.
Helweir, you're quite injured. Are you okay to take point with me?
Probably.
We found potions of healing, did we not, Zarius? Or ointments of some capacity to heal?
Yes.
Perhaps it would be best to use some of it for Helweir. If we face any more of these creatures, we will need to be as strong as possible to continue forward and press on.
We should have had more clerics in the party.
Perhaps you're right, Tio. Perhaps you're right.
Well, next time we'll be sure to ask Lokexicus. Make sure that we bring a couple more, just to be on the safe side.
You see, Daggerface drinks the potion he had. It does not seem to have very good effect.
Apparently.
Can I tell who is better between Daggerface and Hellweir at this point?
Oh God, Daggerface, although bloodied, is way better off than Hellweir. Hellweir is at the point of, you can see he is like swaying slightly just under his own weight.
All right.
Is that all of the potion? Did he just down the whole thing?
His healing potion, yes.
Okay.
Daggerface, perhaps you should accompany me up front. Hellweir, perhaps you would be best suited right now to protect Zarius.
Yeah.
And Daggerface says, I think it should be someone else up front.
Should I stab Hellweir before healing him?
Would that not be counterproductive to the cause?
I look at Hellweir. Can I assess his sort of level?
Yeah, I mean, give me an insight check. That's right. What's your passive insight? It's like 17.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would know an alley cat could knock him unconscious at this point with one hit.
I can just
swap my back of my head and I'll fall over.
it would be more efficient.
Yeah,
Wow.
I always heard about bloodletting.
Hellweir,
Almost, yeah.
take this ointment. Obviously, you need it much more than I, and I'm going to give you my Kyotom's ointment. And you can apply it. I don't know how many doses. It says 1d4, but I don't know how many doses are in this particular batch that I have.
It's a D4 plus 1.
Yeah.
I don't know who got which one.
I just picked one. So
We'll just say whoever has the two of them, both jars have, let's say, 4 doses.
okay.
There was a different number for each one, but I don't feel like digging through my notes to find it now.
So I hand Hellweir. There's 4 applications in here, and each application is 2d8 plus 2 hit points.
2d8 plus 2. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll probably use 2 charges. So let me just get this. There we go.
Not too bad.
Almost as good as if I had knocked you out.
Almost.
Yeah.
Hellweir, how are you feeling? You're looking a bit better.
Don't
He's
worry.
still bloodied.
Not to worry. I just stomped to the front.
And
Yeah. So on the emerald, you could probably break it to get chunks out of it. It just, you can't lift the whole thing in one piece.
And like, where does the the body start? Like, is it just like the head is there and it's like almost breaking out of the emerald almost?
There's a fair bit of distance between the ends and where the body is. How thick the gemstone is, it's hard to tell from here. from this side of it, but most of the length of the crystal seems to be following the body. I mean, that said, if you got an emerald that was like the size of a baseball, and there's certainly sections of this emerald that big, that would be invaluable, depending on the quality and clarity. But, it's the question of shattering the crystal in a way that keeps large chunks intact.
Okay, so let's say I went for the middle of it and just started hacking.
That wouldn't free the problem is it wouldn't free either side from the floor.
Yeah.
So you'd break a bunch of chunks out of the middle of it. If you wanted to get more, you'd still have to progressively break more and more to try to get rough stones out of this. But, looking at it, it looks like you could probably get a number of rough stones out of it if you tried to shatter it.
Okay.
If only somebody had the shatter spell.
All right. So what can I do to try and shatter it, knowing that I can't boot it off the floor?
I mean, bludgeoning damage would be the most obvious way to do it without, and get recoverable, valuable pieces of it.
Okay.
But, effectively what it would be is, because you're trying to aim shots to keep as much of it intact as possible, you would make a dexterity check.
As Hellweir begins turning from the front of the group and proceeding to the gem, Lusharosi would turn around and call out, Hellweir, where are you going?
Just 1 second, and I'd walk into the armory and look for something blunt.
You could find functional warhammers.
Cool. Yeah, I just grab one and I walk out and I just go for a hit on it.
Let me get the hell out of the way here.
Hellweir, we do not have time for this, and that noise may call other creatures to us.
They already know we're here.
So it takes several hits. Like you can crack it on one hit, but to actually break it up takes several hits. But give me a dexterity check.
So while this is going on, Teal's going to start ritually casting detect spell or detect magic.
Okay, a lot of the crystal is fractured. The fractures radiate around where you hit it, but you are still able to get 6 very large chunks out of it. There's also several just tiny shards that are probably worthless, but you're pretty sure that all the cracks running through the thing now would make it extremely unlikely you're going to get anything more valuable out of it.
Hellweir, honestly, we do not have time to satisfy your greed while we are trying to survive.
And you can now see that this is definitely an elf, a dead elf. And yes, it was extremely loud as he had to hammer at it many, many times.
Good.
Do you feel satisfied?
Very much so. Now let us leave.
Hellweir, you really need to reassess your priorities in this situation.
I mean, Hellweir just almost died. I mean,
my priorities are getting money out of this.
Yes, and I'm sure Mordenkaisen's treasure room has many more valuables than whatever gemstones you might break off.
We might not make it there.
yeah, that's the point.
Let's just go. You can tell Lusharosi's got a real short fuse right now.
Yeah, we might not make it there, which means the gems you just got won't fucking matter either.
What is this logic in a fantasy world? Get out of here.
And what I meant is that we might have to run out of here before we even get to the treasure room.
What he meant is he only has to run faster than you guys.
Listen, we either get out of here or we die. This is the way it is.
Well, the front door is just around the corner. We can go through that.
As we head down the hallway, or at least Lusharosi begins heading down the hallway, hoping that the others are beginning to follow. He's holding a Regia's sword in one hand, and then he's also got his gem of brightness in the other, readying to use it at the first sign of danger.
Okay. I mean, feel free to start moving yourselves.
Okay.
Sorry.
Lusharosi is way out front.
Oh,
Other people are going down the other hallway.
The other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, slow down.
He wants to go to the alchemical laboratory.
I don't know.
No, the chapel, which
Oh, the chapel. Which
We
we have to go through the alchemical laboratory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're totally gonna fucking die. There's no way we're not dying.
This is the way the fucking thing was. We're gonna be so screwed.
Yeah.
Why'd you just head this way?
Well,
You're working with them, Lusharosi.
hopefully T-holes. Don't forget Daggerface.
Oh, yeah.
We're bringing up the rear.
I can't move Daggerface. So
as we're heading, as we turn down the hallway, do we see
Okay.
anything?
Yeah, I mean, turning from the entry hall, you see the Carter turns, and down at the end, you can see what looks to be more crystals that seem to be possibly jutting out of a wall. But you also see there's a line of potted plants that you're guessing the servant put there. They all seem to be alive. They're probably the ones from the table in the dining room. Directly across from you, right next to you now, there is a wooden door. It appears to be slightly ajar.
Right here, or right here?
Right there.
that's Regia's office.
Yeah, I think that would be a good place to avoid for the time being.
Why?
Because who knows what Regia has in there. We have already faced a number of deadly creatures. Regia herself is clearly in league with evil. I would not trust to walk in there unprepared.
We are just walking somewhere else unprepared. It does not matter.
Yes.
The chapel at least offers a chance to be on consecrated ground, and it might offer some protection from the creatures that we've been seeing.
Is this just another plant? That thing?
Yes, it's a little side table with two chairs around it. There's a potted plant on the table.
Yeah, I just walk past and knock it over. Worthless.
I like how there's a bunch of gems and stuff blocking that hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are two enormous gemstones, one brown, one seems to be made of ruby. Inside, you can see the frozen forms of people in fancy dress. Both of them appear to be screaming.
I have
There's also a door here.
Yeah. Is this door open?
No, the door's closed.
Okay.
Which door was cracked? You said a door was open?
This door was cracked.
Oh, okay.
Although, given the way it opens, you can't really see much more than a wall inside.
I think that's probably where we want to go.
I just kick through these plants.
All right. So, is there any way to get that we can get past this?
Not, I mean, it grows pretty close up to the ceiling and blocks the hallway. You'll have to break them to get past them, or find some way to teleport by them. You can see the other side, but it's pretty difficult to make out details.
Are they glowing?
No.
Okay.
Other than the fact that there are people inside, they just look like enormous crystals.
No, I mean I had detect. I was
Oh.
detect magic. So are they magical or?
Are people waiting the 10 minutes for that?
I thought he was doing it up like at the green at the emerald. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, right. So then he would still be back there.
Well, you can't move while you're doing that.
I don't think you can move while you're doing a ritual.
Oh, okay.
I mean, rules don't say that you can't move.
Well,
Right. I just assume that a ritual requires a certain amount of standing still. It's not just something you do in the back of your head.
That's fair.
well, yeah, I would have spent 10 minutes if I was still hacking away. He was allowed to do that for 10 more minutes.
So
Yeah.
you basically reduce the emerald to powder, completely freeing the body that's inside. The body appears to be pretty desiccated.
Just a stupid elf. Who cares?
So wait,
and
is
you can
he
see-
destroying this one or this
No.
one or back
No,
at the
in green
beginning?
one. Yeah, back at the beginning. Rewinds.
So as you're looking exposed to the air again for the first time, since it was covered over in this crystal, the body begins to decay pretty rapidly. Not magically, it's just it hasn't had oxygen around it in a long time. So it seems to be turning into a pile of goo.
Lusharosi just looks incredulous at everybody and is like, everybody else is okay with how we're just destroying this.
Yep, we're on our way, Lusharosi. Don't worry.
So once the detect magic is cast, you come back around. The crystals themselves don't seem to be magical, but as you're walking up the hallway, you detect there's something magical in this room, both in this corner and then in the other further corner. So right behind the wall, basically, and then right behind the door, about 10 or 15 feet back from the door.
So I would say, I would kind of signal like there's something magical in either of these rooms. Am I able to ascertain like the type of magic it is? Or
One is transmutation, maybe conjuration. So we'll say some combination of those two. The other one is definitely enchantment.
well, so which room is which?
Hold on, let me write something out.
Oh, Lusharosi, it would seem we have to break more crystals.
Which we could have done much sooner had you not spent so much time breaking the other one. An act of pure vanity, how weird.
I think if you've fallen close to death, that you're allowed an act of vanity.
Perhaps once you become safe, not while you're still in the middle of the danger.
So if you're trying to break these crystals, just give me a strength check. You're assuming you're not trying to salvage chunks of them.
I don't know. Ruby's pretty valuable, right?
Yeah, the brown one is probably garnet, so it's probably also potentially valuable.
Oh.
I mean,
I'd look
we
at
could just go in one of these rooms. I mean, we could be breaking through crystals all day.
That's true.
You bet it's best to save your strength for the fight rather than for the crystals. At least crystals don't fight back.
We might gather some clue from Aregia's office.
And we may encounter more traps. Also, have you noticed that this hallway is blocked? Which means either the creatures that went down this way are either capable of teleporting, or they have barricaded themselves, or otherwise hidden in these rooms. We should be on guard that they may spring out at any moment.
Her door was open, so we should not have to worry about the time fluctuation.
This is true.
And there was just the one, right?
One
that got away?
remaining. Yeah. Well, there was also a skeleton that ran down the other hallway.
Yeah.
You don't know where that one got to.
That was probably ages ago for that guy. With the speed up and time here, so.
Right, but he's also a skeleton, so
Sure.
he has got a lot to do.
So I'm just, since I'm in the back, I'm just scanning that door in that hallway behind us.
Okay.
If it is helpful to the process, I would assist Hellweir in breaking up these crystals to make way for us to pass through the hallway. And while I do that, I would call it to Zarius. If your curiosity is such that you really need to check out Aregia's room at this moment, then I cannot control what you do. I would simply recommend against it at this time.
Is this not the chapel room? That room behind us?
No. That looks
No,
like prison cell. Or I don't know what that door is. It's not on the map, but I guess it would be the prison cells. I guess the
Servant would have made a better map than the DM did. And on Servant's map, there's a door there that leads to the prison cells.
Well,
So are we continuing on, or are we going through this room?
Kajika, do you wish to go into this door? Watch my back. I open the door. I just push it open with my quarterstaff, readying myself in case something does jump out.
Oh, shit.
I'm sure it'll be fine, guys.
Yep.
I'm the one that's in better shape than fucking everybody else, basically.
So, do I need to make a strength check to try and break these crystals with Hellweir? Or would it just give him advantage?
I'm not trying to break them. I'm trying to collect them.
Uh-huh.
I would be trying to break them as quickly and
okay.
efficiently as possible then. So
Okay, you break your one, I'll collect my one. I'll see you in 10 minutes.
So you want to? Which one are you breaking? Which one are you trying to collect?
From whichever one I think is worth more, that's the one which I'll start collecting.
and regardless what he thinks is worth more, I'm breaking the red one.
Okay.
Where's T-Hole? Where'd he go?
I'm behind Zarius.
Okay.
Are you? Oh,
Okay.
there you are.
Yeah, so I'm kind of interested in your in this office, but I'm gonna be kind of the last to go in.
Well, one of us has got to watch Daggerface.
I mean, Daggerface can just take up the rear with with myself.
Daggerface comes over and sits on one of the chairs. So, but Zarius was going into the office first. So when you open the door, there is one of the glowing crystal orbs is on the far ceiling. There's a fireplace in the corner. Several bookshelves are lining the walls, and there's a fairly neatly organized desk towards the back of it. Let me get rid of the thing. There seem to be papers scattered around the desks. There are a number of books in here. Given your passive perception, you would also notice that there's a lot of burned material in the fireplace that seems to be partially spilling out onto the floor.
Okay. Nothing jumps out at me.
Not immediately, not from the doorway.
No apparent traps.
It looks like an office. Nothing unusual about it.
All right.
The books appear to be in somewhat more disarray than the ones in the library, at least until Hellweir dumped a bunch of them on the floor. So somewhere between neatly organized and all dumped on the floor.
Sure. I'll go over to the fireplace and yeah, I'll pull some of the stuff away from the fire.
Okay. Give me an investigation check. You could tell it appears to mostly be books.
There we go.
From what you could see from what you've pulled out, some of it may have been loose papers. A lot of it appears to have been fairly large books, like not like small pocket-sized books, but big tomes, probably like a foot at least wide and 2 feet tall. So probably very old, very expensive books.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit larger than I was expecting. I mean, are they totally damaged or just like? Because I know large books like that sometimes are fairly fire resistant.
Right. You do see some of the covers, at least the ones that were metal, appear to be attacked. But from what you can see, it looks like everything was pretty thoroughly destroyed. Also, roll initiative for me.
Yeah, sure.
And T-Hall.
Because I have the mending cantrip, so like I could fix things potentially. Jesus fucking Christ.
Are you guys happy now? Are you happy?
That'll be fine.
So, as you are pulling books out of the fireplace, next to you appears the Bodak, who is going to reach out with his eye-filled arms and try to grab you.
Oh boy.
Good plan. You flushed him out. Good job.
Yep. Only the first one hits me.
Yep. So you take the 10 damage.
Okay.
T-Hole's turn. Now that you can see it, you have to make the decision whether or not to avert your eyes again.
Yeah, I'm gonna avert my eyes.
Tried to warn you guys.
That'll be fine.
Told you. Way's blocked off. There's only a couple places those guys could go.
Which means it was just one left. Let's fucking take care of it.
And a
Quit being a
skeleton
scaredy cat.
somewhere.
Quit being a scaredy cat. Emphasis on the cat.
Because it's coming behind you.
Because
Like,
he's got the lion's mane, you know.
yeah.
No, I know. I didn't get the because it's coming behind you.
Because you have your cat that's always active behind you.
Oh, behind, literally behind.
That was too layered. There's we had to dig too far to get there.
So I'm gonna cast Burning Hands and aim it at like the cone to engulf this creature and not Zarius.
Okay.
I'll light up this room, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna hit the desk and one full bookcase and maybe part of the other.
This does not seem like a great idea.
But that's, who needs books? Books are for nerds.
Yeah.
The desk is one of the things that might have helpful information.
But let me know, what's the save dexterity?
Well, hold on. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if I want to light up the entire room full of flammable things.
It's a tiny room.
Remember the TPK from smoke inhalation when the party got stuck?
In the cave in Mike's game.
Yeah. Well, that's not gonna help. Oh, I'm gonna hit the creature. I'm gonna make a melee attack with my my staff and cast Bane on it.
Okay, is Bane a bonus action?
The staff has Bane.
Right, and you can either attack with the staff, which is an action, or cast the spell if the spell's an action.
The spell's an action, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll cast the spell. I forgot how that worked.
So he's casting the spell, but it just looks like he's tapping him with the thing.
Yeah.
So with Bane, do you have to be able to see the creature? Because you're not looking at the creature at the moment.
That you can see within range.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Details. But does that work if it's through a staff? Like if the staff can touch it?
It's not that you touch 3 creatures with the staff. It's still, you're just casting the spell out of the staff.
Oh, I gotcha.
So you still have to be able to see what you're targeting with the spell.
Gotcha. All right, well then, if that's the case, then I'm just going to use magic missile. It's the easiest. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
And then after the blue balls of force erupt from my hand and pound it. I call out.
Clip that.
I call out. We found it. It's in here. Come on. And I'm gonna move out. Move out of the room.
I look at Lusharosi and I'll be like, I've got this, and I just keep chiseling.
He's got nothing else in life.
Okay. Other people will get to go next round, or at least get to roll initiative next round. Zarius, now it's your turn.
Yeah. I'll divert my eyes. And then what is this? That's an action, okay. Is it holding me now? Is it grappled?
No, you're not currently grappled.
Okay. Cool. Fuck that guy. It's not the Bodak I'm familiar with. All right. Son of a bitch. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, I'll bonus action, enable the Staff of the Adder, and then take a swing at it. So
Okay.
I guess I'm rolling at disadvantage, but hey,
No.
damn it, almost a fucking crit.
Almost. So does it have to make a Constitution save? I think it's
Yeah.
it's immune to poison, so never mind.
No. All right, now it's going to take one step that way. We have found the creature. Come, let us slay it.
Okay, everyone else can roll initiative.
Curse it.
I don't think I want to roll initiative. I just want to keep chiseling.
Seriously?
Well, if you're just gonna run ahead, I'll just be like, I'll be right there, and then
You could chisel. You could roll initiative and then use your action to chisel.
okay, yeah, that'll be my turn. I'll do that.
Okay.
If you're too scared to join us, Hellweir, then fine. Continue punching on your gemstones.
I didn't click on anything. Shit.
I've never met a Goliath to be so cowardly.
So, Hellware, you're just going to keep chiseling?
Yeah. I'm ignoring Lusharosi. I know I'm not a coward.
So the creature turns as Zarius backs to the side, and it lashes out at him. But misses. Daggerface gets up and carefully moves this way, stepping around Kajika to try to see what's going on in there. But that's like his whole movement. And then he comes here. But poor Daggerface. He heard the creature is in here, I suppose, but he didn't actually avert his gaze. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Hit the wrong button. So, yep. So Daggerface has to make a saving throw. He'll probably make it. Yes. So as Daggerface meets the gaze of the eyes on the creature's hand, Zarius, you looking away from the creature, can see the skin on his hand just starts to physically blacken, and he doubles over in pain.
The Bodak?
No, Daggerface.
Oh. Okay. Good to know.
And then he turns his gaze away. Kajika.
Well, let's see. Those two are still down there, right? Working on the.
I don't think we even got a chance to start working on it before Zarius decided to go in the room.
And T-hole is out of the room.
Yeah,
Yes.
I moved. I shot a magic missile and ran out and alerted the troops.
All right. So if I step to the side there and avert my gaze, I could try to shoot him at disadvantage, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Oh boy.
So you shoot, but it goes wild,
Okay.
flying over the shoulder of Zarius and into the fireplace.
Okay. Well. And
And by the way, that is also a misfire.
oh.
Uh-oh.
So that means it obviously misses because it was a nat 1, but you can't use the gun again until you repair it.
Son of
So
a...
it's all put it there in the it's in the
Okay.
description.
Okay. All right. That's not good. So I step back.
You doing anything else?
No. I'm going to put... Well, I guess my other action, I would put that down and then grab my musket then.
Okay, you can do that without using any part of your action or bonus action if you just drop the pistol.
Okay. All right.
So that's it.
Yeah.
T-hole again.
Teal's going to let's see. He's gonna look over and avert his gaze, and he's gonna cast Phantasmal Killer. So you must make a Wisdom saving throw.
I mean, I will say, because this thing is undead, it's probably immune to fear effects.
I understand that.
Okay.
So, but there's still damage. The damaging aspect.
So it failed.
All right. Sweet. It does not have that set up. So at the end of each of its turns, it has to do check.
So roll me 4d10.
16 damage, 16 psychic damage.
Yeah.
And that'll be my turn.
Oh, I see. Okay, so that damage actually should have been at the end of its turn. Looking again. But I'll just keep it there, and next time it comes up, that'll be it. Zarius.
All right. I guess really, it's difficult to tell whether or not since I can't really look at it properly. It's difficult to know whether or not the poison is It's difficult to tell that the poison isn't actually working. But all right. Did it? Or you didn't do the bane? That's right, because you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, technically, I'm not going to retcon it, but technically, Phantasmal Killer is also a creature you can see. Now that I look.
Yeah.
But it's in his mind's eye, so
I can't. Like I'm picturing like I'm just like looking down at its eyes, or down at not at its eyes, at its feet, you know. But yeah, I'll probably just do Sacred Flame.
Okay, so
Oof.
So the flames form around it, but it manages to dodge out of the way before getting burned.
Alrighty. Sure did. Yeah, that'll be it for now.
Lusharosi.
All right, so let's see. How long is this? So it's probably just going to take my entire movement to just get to this point. Okay, now it's not letting me click on my character. Oh, that's why.
Yeah, hit S here on the ruler bar.
Right. So I'd probably get here. I'm going to use an action point to use my gem.
Are you averting your gaze from the thing?
I cannot avert my gaze in order to use the gem.
Then before you can use the gem, you have to make a Constitution save.
Okay. And now that I'm within 10 feet of some of you, you also get a +3 bonus to your saving throws.
So you take 22 points of necrotic damage as you could feel your soul being pulled from your body.
Okay. All right. And then so I'm going to use 1 point to just target that creature. So it has to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. Bards.
So the light flares at it, but it manages to cover its eye, and it's on its one hand before the light can blind it.
Okay. All right, and then with that, I will begin averting my gaze.
Hellware.
So I look up the hallway and I see Lusharosi get like fried by this thing.
From this distance, I would say it's more subtle than that. Like, you can't see what the effect was at this distance. If you were closer, you would see that he was in pain.
Yeah.
You do, however, see he holds his hand out, and there's an enormously bright flash of light.
And would Kajika's weapons make like a weird noise when they misfire or something?
He fired a shot. It went off. It didn't necessarily sound weird, but then you heard like a crack that you're not used to hearing.
Yeah, I think I'll run up as well then. Be like, fuck, and I just start running. And I'll just get to here, and I'm like, oh, and then I just say, oh fuck again. And,
So, are you averting your gaze?
Yeah, I'll be averting my gaze. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
It is going to lash out at Zarius since he's right next to it and not do anything. And then it will move. It's going to take the attack of opportunity and move here. You can take an attack of opportunity at disadvantage if you want.
Doesn't matter.
Or, hey, I am so generous. Let's just make that at advantage.
Talk about take the M.
Daggerface. Daggerface trips and falls prone, and then gets up and just takes off running. And the Bodak claws at him, but misses.
God damn Daggerface.
Kajika.
Can I get a shot at the Bodak?
You can always shoot through your allies. They basically, anything you're shooting at gets +2 to its armor class because you've got to shoot around them.
Okay. But I could move here and then I wouldn't have an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll shoot at him at disadvantage, correct?
Yeah, if you're averting your gaze.
God, dog, man.
Oh,
Really?
no, misfire.
No, misfire on 2.
No, misfire on 1 or 2. It's if that or lower.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Well, all those hits I've had.
So you hear a second crack, and the lock just pops off your musket, clatters to the floor.
Well, I'll pick up whatever pieces and 5, 10, 15. Let's see. How much movement do I have left?
You could spend an action point to try to fix one of them.
Yeah, true. You could spend an action point to basically get an action, and it takes an action to fix one of the guns, or to try to fix one of the guns.
Okay, I guess let's see. I've rolled 2 1s in a row, so
3rd time's the charm.
oh shit.
But you won't be at disadvantage for this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ones.
So I will. Well, I have my second action. Can I use my second action to try to repair it?
You have a second attack, but
Oh,
you have to
okay,
use a whole action to repair it.
Okay, so I'll use freaking A. Yeah,
Wait,
let me use an action point.
Today, Junior.
Oh boy.
Feisty tonight.
Wow.
Did this thing attack Lusharosi?
Nah.
No.
Exarius.
Okay. And then it just moved next to Lusharosi?
Okay, I think I maybe I did that right. 22.
You're not at disadvantage to repair it, so
25.
yeah. So you've managed to repair it, although it took the whole action.
Okay, but I still have movement.
Yes, if you didn't use all your movement.
What's the matter? No.
I think I can get to about here
You
because
should
I
have
can try to
asked
look for Daggerface before his dumbass runs away.
Yeah, I mean, you could see him like running through that doorway back into the banquet hall.
Really?
Don't worry about it. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's only our ticket out of here.
Aren't you a monk? Don't you have like a bunch of extra movement?
He's more of a monk fighter.
Uh-huh. So he's got like no monk levels?
So he's got like some extra movement.
All right. But I can see him going around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he is right here.
Okay. All right. That's my turn then.
T-hole.
Since we haven't had a rest and I have no more spell slots left, T-hole is going to man, I don't even know what I can do. I can't attack. I can try to run up and hit it with disadvantage.
Don't you have Firebolt?
Oh, duh. I forgot about can. I only cast Fireball all the time. Now that I think about it.
See,
That's what
Dustin
I'm
can only hold so many spells in his head at any one time. So when I
Yeah.
told him he had all those extra spells, he had to lose Firebolt. Forget that he had it.
It's like the real life version of a wizard.
He lost Firebolt, and he doesn't know how to use keys anymore.
So yeah, I will use Firebolt. Thank you for reminding me of it. Didn't really help.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, cool.
We're doing real well with these ones, man.
Yep.
This might be a potty wipe.
A single injured Bodak.
Do you want to move or do anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna use an action point, and I'm gonna cast True Strike on Lusharosi.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. It's Zarius' turn.
Alrighty. I'm gonna try Sacred Flame again. Let that go.
This time the Radiant Fire manages to catch it.
Yay. I forgot, did these guys, or was it the skeletons that didn't like the Radiant?
The skeletons particularly didn't like it, but it burned this one pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, well, there we go then.
So, Lusharosi.
All right, so my first attack with Regia's sword will be at normal then, since advantage minus disadvantage.
Nice. Well, God, what a waste! I wasted an action
Double-
point for that.
Double crit! Holy shit.
Well,
We
at
got
least
2
somebody's
ones,
counterbalancing our ones.
I mean, you just gave me super true strike since you had a action point on it.
I like how it's just double crits and it says this is a magic weapon.
Yeah, no shit, I rolled 2 20s.
So then second one is with at disadvantage, and then thoughts is at disadvantage.
So those both miss.
God damn it. And then I will use another action point, my last action point, to do another action, attack action. So.
Wait, I lost which one was which. So the long sword hit, and thoughts hit.
Cool.
And you could feel as you're pounding into this thing that you're breaking bones underneath, but that doesn't seem to unsteady it at all. Hellware, it's your turn.
Great sword, swinging. Oh, fuck me.
So those are both misses because you're averting your gaze.
Yeah, I am, yeah. I'm not sure. Can I do a bonus action, do an offhand strike? Or is that
I have allowed that before, so sure.
Okay. Well, I still miss.
That is, yeah, it's also a miss. Well, between the two of you, let's see. Of course. Remembering that its comrade almost killed Hellware.
Oh,
Oh, but it does
Wow,
terrible.
wow. All right.
Good, roll once as well.
At least the enemy also rolls ones and we're rolling ones.
Yeah. Roll 20's fucking hating everybody.
not me. Double crit.
You say that now.
Hey, I did 47 damage in my turn. I'm holding my weight.
And you see it fades from sight.
Yeah, can you do it again? As it tries to magically move away from you.
Is it gone again? What?
Yes, you're not sure. Well, I mean, it's pretty quiet, so I guess everyone give me a perception check.
Ew.
So Hellware and T-Hole, you are aware it's kind of in somewhere in this general area.
Sorry, ping that again.
I don't see where you're pinging.
Yeah, I didn't see where you're pinging at all.
Is it in the hallway, like south?
It's in the armory corridor.
That's strange. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know why I see it. It's pinging for me.
Is it here?
Here, do it on your screen again. Oh, okay, in the corner here.
No, that's somebody. Yeah, that's
That
somebody.
was me. That was
Somebody
me.
else who's pinging in the corner.
Yeah.
Basically, right next to Kajika,
Gotcha. On the outside, on the.
closer to the armory wall.
Gotcha. Okay, there I see that.
Like right here?
Yeah, that wasn't me, but
Yeah, it's me. That's
Alright, so
trying to
there,
confirm.
got it.
You might be on a different layer or something.
that could be. Oh, in fact, I know that I am. There you go.
There.
Yeah. He had to make your
'Cause I was-
Bodak invisible.
Right, I had to move my invisible Bodak, so I was on the players can't see this layer.
So yeah.
Daggerface disappears from even Kajika's sight.
So. Oh yeah. So we're still internal. I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean it's still there.
Yeah. True.
Kajika, you're not sure exactly where it is.
I'm just following dumbass here.
So as you move,
Of course.
you feel a claw come down and try to grab your shoulder. But it has advantage and it becomes visible.
Okay.
So you are paralyzed and can't move any further.
Oh, super.
And you took 8 necrotic damage. Which on 5d8 is amazing for you.
Holy shit! Yeah.
There's
those are all
3
the ones.
ones.
It is very disappointed in itself. So you're still paralyzed. T-hole.
Oh yeah. Guess what spell's coming, guys?
Fireball?
Light.
Fireball light.
So at 13.
Because you're averting your gaze, it does not hit and flies down the hallway. Zarius.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Let's see here. What's that distance there? Still out of range. I would like to. I want to move a little bit closer here, so I'd have to dash, technically. But then I'd like to use an action point to cast a spell. I want to do Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
And yeah. Technically he has to make that save at the beginning of his turn, but
Right. So Lusharosi.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna move right up to him.
You are passing through a field of angels. Assuming that's how Zarius Flavors is.
I'm thinking more like hounds.
Like Nimbus dogs.
Okay.
Like Anubis, yeah.
So I'm ducking and dodging the hounds, and then I bring a Regia's sword to bear, doing my best to avert my gaze.
So the thoughts and the longsword hit the first time.
So another 19 damage to it.
Lusharosi, your back's gonna get sore from carrying everybody.
Yeah, well, you know, this could have all been avoided if we just went to the chapel. But, you know, what does Lusharosi know?
It also could have just been taken care of in the room. If I had we just all gone in there.
So Hellweir, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna run up as well. I'm gonna start swinging.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage, yes.
It's a hit. It's a miss. That's a hit.
I should rename my unarmed strike to Fuck Lusharosi. I don't know.
Well, its nemesis Hellweir is back.
Oh no.
It has to do the Spirit
Wisdom
Guardians.
save.
Yeah, wisdom. I don't know if you want me to roll again or not, but
No, it's fine. It failed.
nice. 15.
That was 15 radiant damage.
Yep.
So these hounds begin to, at least as I picture it, like leap onto it, like biting into the side of it, as the others continue to swirl around.
Oh, that's right. I had my phantasmal killer
Yeah,
that
you're right.
should have been activated. It's
It
last.
took the first set of damage that I rolled. I mean,
And it
roll
did.
it.
And then there's been
Save.
2 turns since then, at least.
Yeah,
Right. What save was that? Wisdom?
wisdom. Yeah.
Wow.
So roll me another 4d10.
Sweet. I love it when ones show up.
And then another save. I think that failed, right?
My spell save is 15.
Okay. So it made that one. So the spell effect ended, but you did get 2 rounds of it.
Woohoo! Thanks for reminding me.
Yes. And then it will go after Hellweir, who's back in range.
Oh bother.
I will negate that crit.
Actually. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Which one is it? Sentinel? Yeah.
So you basically take 21 damage and you're paralyzed.
Okay.
But Kajika, as at the end of your next turn, you will become unparalyzed, Kajika.
Hmm.
All right. Don't get hit by another crit. I got no more of those.
I'll just wait. I'm just stunned. Maybe having like a little seizure or something. I don't know. Whatever that looks like.
So does this thing have to keep its hand on like the target while they're stunned, or does it just happen like once they're stunned, then it can like pull its hand away?
It's just stunned. It was grappling with Hellweir because if it grapples, it doesn't have to roll to hit anymore.
Hmm.
It's just assumed that it's got a hand on you, like right next to your skin, if it's grappling you. But it hasn't tried that particular tactic yet.
Yeah.
So Kajika, at the end of this turn, you become unstunned or unparalyzed.
Hmm.
T-hole.
I'm gonna try to like, position myself for a solid firebolt here. See if I can get in between.
So that hits?
Well, it'd be a
Disadvantage?
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're not looking at it. That misses.
yeah.
You didn't quite thread the needle. Almost.
Without looking, he tries to thread the needle. Some of Lusharosi's main hairs are singed. Zarius.
We're gonna do another Sacred Flame.
That's some good damage there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No. Just gonna keep concentrating on that. Spirit Guardians.
So you can see, it could maybe survive a hit from one of you, but maybe not two.
I might actually. I think I'll move forward here. Actually, before I end.
Okay. Lusharosi.
All right. Continuing the onslaught with the Regia's longsword.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
Those miss.
Yeah.
Hey, there goes your ones. It starts. It begins.
I was doing a full turn already. Shit, I'm gonna get hammered.
So Hellweir, at the end of your turn, you're no longer paralyzed, but you don't get to go, and it's its turn.
Yeah.
Wisdom save.
Yep.
Damn.
Takes half damage then.
So -9. That is not quite enough to bring it down, but you're pretty sure a solid hit would definitely bring it down. As it tries to solidly hit Hellweir.
Both hits. Oh, actually, no, one hits. The good one hits. So I'm down.
That's okay. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
So you are paralyzed, and you can physically all see Hellweir's soul is not as his body has fallen to the floor, but his soul appears to be almost half hoisted out of his body, as it seems to be connected by some invisible tether to the hand of this creature that just clawed at him. And the creature looks very pleased at that. And Zarius, you get the sense that it's maybe a little bit stronger than it was.
Like did it perhaps recover a little bit?
Yes, something like that.
Okay. All right.
As it is directly feeding off Hellweir's soul.
Delicious.
Can't be that
Nobody,
delicious. Such a scrawny little soul. You have no values.
What are you talking
You have
about?
no honor.
I'm the chosen one. Get out of here.
He's been coaching.
This is the best soul.
Kajika, you're unfrozen now and can go.
All right. Just avert my gaze and shoot at this bastard.
If you back up, it can attack you.
Ken? Okay.
Yes.
Motherfucker.
Pistol
Flurry
with
of
his bitch.
blows.
Yeah, let me get closer to this thing. Well, he's already paralyzed one guy. Sure.
Or disengage. I mean,
Brad, you could disengage and move.
Okay. So is that a whole action?
That's- Yes, disengaging is the action.
Okay. Okay.
Could spend an action point to get another action. Or save them, because this one creature that was left over from last session might not be the worst thing.
Yeah, let me use an action point and shoot at it, because that's what we probably should do. And I fucking missed.
At least it didn't misfire.
Yeah, and Dagger asshole is left, so good. Just make sure I don't catch him.
you get 2 attacks, don't you?
Not with this weapon. He has to
Oh.
reload it after one shot.
Um,
All right.
Teal.
Firebolt.
Trying to shoot through people gives it enough cover that you don't hit it.
One of you should move to its other side so I can get a clear shot. If you all can shuffle to your left in a flanking fashion,
Right.
then I should have a clear shot.
Darius.
All right. What kind of damage is this? I forget, because did I hit this thing with the Toll the Dead last time? And
I don't recall if you tried Toll the Dead last time.
because usually that's my go-to cantrip, but for some reason I'm wanting to say that it healed them or it didn't hurt them as much.
Yeah, because it does necrotic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does less because it's undead.
I'll say that you did, or at least you surmised that if you were to try that, given that it's trying to feed off of Hellweir's life force, it might like the necrotic energy.
Yeah. All right. Then what I will do is lean down to pick up Hellweir as I cast Cure Wounds as a 4th level spell. And it will actually be max besides what's actually here. So
Is that what
it'll
it
be,
is?
well, so it's going to be more than that. It just didn't max it here. So it's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 8
32.
plus an extra 4.
36. Wowee.
The light has use of you still. Fight on. And then I'll scooch here in a flanking position.
Okay, Lusharosi.
All right. Continuing to avoid my gaze.
Thoughts hit.
Okay.
Of course it did.
You two punching into it feel as though some of the bones you previously broken are mended again.
Yep. Can I possibly step over Hellweir to get here?
Yes, you can.
Cool. T-hole, you have an opening.
All
So,
right.
Hellweir, you are prone, but awake.
Okay.
He shouldn't be paralyzed anymore, right? Because he was knocked out.
Right, you're not paralyzed.
Okay,
Nice.
so I can get up, use half my movement, and then start swinging.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. Bang, bang. Oh yeah, averting gaze. So
Second one hit.
yeah. Right on. Yeah, my stomach's getting real tasty.
It's going after Hellweir again.
Can't get that one.
So technically, you can't set up the monster things the way you can the thing. So that is technically 15 plus 40 necrotic
Oh.
damage.
I guess I'm down again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're super down.
Yeah. 40
And
was
once
really
again,
bring me down.
this creature that can barely move its mouth because of the stretched skin takes the effort to stretch the skin up into a sick smile.
Just right quick. He does have to make that save at the beginning of
That's
his
true.
turn.
Oh, is
You're
he
right.
gonna
I
die?
forgot about that.
Oh,
So
oh,
made it
Yeah,
that time. So
it
it takes half
stays
damage.
half damage. Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Doesn't matter. It's healed like 45 damage. Or is it 55? I don't know. A lot of damage.
well, yeah. Yeah.
How many Bodak does it take to kill?
You know, it'd be really cool right now, right? Smites.
Is there a paladin in the party? No?
Not that I'm aware of.
There is like, a second-rate fighter in the party right now.
Whatever. I've still carried this team with the damage so far, even without my smite. Assholes.
And without Solosry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck. That hurts.
I think by now that my radiant damage is creeping up there, man.
You see Daggerface appears in the doorway again.
Oh, thank God now I don't have to beat the shit out of him.
And it's Kajika, it's your turn. And now you're partially blocked by Zarius
Of course.
if you wanted to take a shot.
Well, I got a clear shot at Daggerface, though.
Right, you could easily shoot Daggerface.
Yeah. So when I look over at Daggerface, does he look any different?
Not really. He looks pretty hurt. But he looked pretty hurt after the last fight too. His helmet is on and mask is down, so you can't see the expression on his face.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna move here and ready in action. So if Zarius moves, I'll blow the shit out of him.
Okay. Although this is sort of a metagamey thing, why would Zarius move?
Well, if he
You could
sees,
at least let him know to get out of the way.
Well,
Something.
I mean, he would probably at least hear or see out of the corner of his eye, or me moving. I'll say, "Hey, move the fuck out of the way."
Okay, that's all. I think that's all it takes to be fair.
Okay.
If Zarius wants to move, Zarius could also just be a dick and be like, "No," and keep staying where he is. But that's up to him.
Did T-Hole just move?
Yeah, I did.
Well, it's about to be his turn anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead, Teal.
I was just making sure you were paying attention
Hmm.
to this firebolt.
Ooh.
But averting your gaze.
Yeah.
So yeah, the misses unfortunately.
I have to duck out of the way.
Zarius.
Alrighty. Hellweir is just going to have to deal with that for now. Okay, let's give me a second here before I move. God damn it! God damn it, Teal. All right. Well, okay. So I should be able to do it if I step aside. That should be fine. So I'll step aside here, which should allow for Kajika to get his shots off
Right.
right quick.
Crossfire. You guys know the game, right?
Bell.
So as a firebolt shoots past the creature and over Kajika's shoulder, Kajika opens fire on T-Hole seemingly because he doesn't hit the creature and it whizzes by, barely missing T-Hole's cloak. The problem with crossfire when you're pointed directly at each other.
And then I'm gonna breath weapon him. I think I have it in here, don't I?
What's your con modifier? Okay.
There you go. And so it looks just like shooting against the wall. So
What damage type is this?
acid.
Acid. Okay. Save. It's a dexterity save, right?
Yes. Hey, all right.
So,
So he takes 9 acid damage.
you can see the skin begin to dissolve around its stomach and blackened entrails begin to spill out.
Fun.
Lusharosi.
I know Hellweir is down. And even though I'm averting my eyes, can I see if this creature intends to continue to hurt Hellweir or target him?
You don't know what it's going to target, like with attacks, but you know that Hellweir's spirit appears to be racked with pain and is coming out of his body visibly.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be sort of bending in the direction of the creature. So there is some connection between his soul and this creature.
Okay. Could I enter this square and physically try to interpose myself between the two while I press the attack?
You could stand in the square, sure.
Okay. However, you have no reason to expect any goodwill from me, but Lusharosi, he can't help himself. All right. Let's go. Regia's longsword and thoughts.
So Aregi's longsword hits.
Okay. 8 more slashing damage.
Hellweir, give me a death save.
Step save. All right. Damn.
So that is 2 failures on Hellweir's death save.
You brought it on yourself for being such a dick. This is how the gods reward you.
And you can, as Hellweir's death saves fail as Hellweir is slipping further and further away. You see the hole that the acid had grown in the stomach of the creature closes over with a gray flesh. Actually, that's true. You don't see that because you're all averting your gaze. But if you had been looking at
Peeking.
it.
Shit.
And now the creature
Stay.
has to make a saving throw.
Are you fucking serious? A 1?
So it failed.
13.
The gods are making you pay for your sins.
No, they're not.
The roll 20 gods.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And then it is going to I'll just roll. Let's see. It swings a hand around and turns its head over towards Zarius. And then it lashes out. Missing.
Damn.
Daggerface steps out into the hallway and steps past Kajika, his axe raised high, and steps right in front of where Kajika's going to want to shoot.
Yeah, but he's small.
Right.
He's
And
shoot
then
over.
he brings his axe down twice. He's averting his gaze this time, though. So he does not hit Kajika.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know what I need to do. Dumb.
So I got dumbass in front of me, right?
Yes.
So that I'll add to his AC because it's like cover,
+2.
of course. Shit.
If you ever take the sharpshooter feat, it will eliminate that. But I think we established you don't have that. So
Yeah, I just reload.
yeah, I mean, I would say usually I've kind of been adding the +2 throughout the course of the campaign without mentioning it because it just seemed like a detail. But you know, it's only +2.
Let's see here. Well, I'm just gonna. I reload and hold my action because we'll probably end up fighting Hellweir and the Bodak. So, just wait for what's his nuts to move.
Okay. Are you telling Daggerface to move?
At this point, I'm frustrated. Whatever. If he doesn't move, I'll just fucking shoot him at this point.
Okay, T-hole.
I'm gonna spend an action point.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 shots go wild.
Would have been
The
nice
second
if
one-
that second one would have hit.
The second one, yeah, arcs around the creature, past Daggerface, and nearly clips Kajika right in the head, but then buries itself in a wall. Normally, they only fly in straight lines. It is amazing that he managed to curve Firebolt.
It is the magic bolt.
Sarius.
All right. I forgot I could fucking do this last turn. I can spare the dying as a bonus action and at range. So Hellweir is at 0, stable. No more death saves.
The creature loses its smile at that.
But we don't
Yeah.
know. We're averting our gaze.
And then call down another sacred flame.
Oh, that's Daggerface. That's not the creature. Fail.
Nice.
I was like, why are this creature's hit points so low? Oh, that's Daggerface.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I'll just move here then. So maybe Daggerface has a place to move in case Kajika. Just tell Daggerface, move here. So Kajika has a shot.
Okay. Lusharosi.
All right. You see, Lusharosi looks a lot more frustrated and seems to be furrowing his brow in concentration as he begins swinging the Regia's longsword.
Is Lusharosi going to take barbarian levels yet?
That may be on the horizon.
So the second one digs into the creature. More of its black guts begin spilling out of its side now. And this time the hole does not appear to be closing. So Hellweir is still unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no more death saves because he's stable.
I also like to think Lusharosi is teabagging him in between turns.
Oh man.
Himbo style.
Yes, and he's wearing a kilt, so it's just like a furry lion sack coming down.
Giant. If you ever seen lion balls, like just fucking bowling balls, furry bowling balls.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
And he's wearing split mail, so you know he's sweating in that shit.
And you spend an action point to make Hellweir conscious. But he can't
Hellweir,
I
make a
have
death
hurt my
save.
gaze. I have hurt my gaze.
Make a death save.
Okay, so the creature first attempts to claw at Lusharosi. It has a plan. Okay, it missed, but it then immediately leans down with its other hand and lays it on Hellweir.
Oh no.
Sentinel.
So it has advantage.
It misses somehow.
Could he be considered to have cover since I'm standing over him?
I would say yes. He missed anyway, but
Okay.
sure. I mean, technically, I don't know that the cover rule applies to melee attacks, but sure.
Well, I mean, I kind of do. I kind of have it like if you're trying to fight around a corner or something.
Right. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. That it's fine to impose the extra +2.
I'm totally picturing a cat just kind of from around the corner.
The Daggerface readies his axe again and brings it down, averting
Oh
his gaze.
wait, it had to make a wisdom save.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah, it did. Yeah, sorry.
That is very unlikely to kill it, though. So
I don't care.
Every little bit.
just saying, it
Damage.
won't affect the ultimate outcome. So it takes 16.
Dang.
More dogs leaping onto this creature as Daggerface swings wildly, missing twice. Kajika. Oh, Daggerface does, however, move in response to being told to move. And it's Kajika's turn.
I guess I can shoot him, man. At disadvantage. Fucking miss.
Doing
Yeah.
anything else?
No, that's just getting frustrated. That's it. That's my other action.
Teal.
I'm gonna cast True Strike on Zarius.
Well, I mean, I've not been swinging at him.
Oh, well, Lusharosi then.
Yeah,
Okay.
Lusharosi or Kajika need it most.
Well, Lusharosi and you and Hellier all go before before the creature, so
Yeah.
the Lusharosi can take it then.
Okay.
Zarius.
Well, yeah. Make sure I got nothing that will help me here.
Should have invested in Greece.
Do another Sacred Flame.
That time he manages to dodge.
Okay.
How do we kill 2 of these?
There were a lot of low rolls in the
we had
beginning,
smites,
particularly.
That's right. We had smites.
All right. So Regia with normal. Okay, not bad. And then second.
Ooh,
That's a
and
hit.
then-
That's a hit too.
damn.
It's about time you start pulling your weight.
So 34.
Fuck you.
So without even looking at it, this time Lusharosi manages to tear up the creature, although it manages to keep its footing. It looks as if it could fall over soon.
Perhaps on its turn.
Yeah.
Hellier is still unconscious.
Yep.
Sleepy time.
Yep. Saving throw.
It's a terrible roll. A 1 and a 2.
Not loaded that time.
A whopping 4.
Oh, well, now he's gonna get all his hit points back.
Maybe not. Who knows?
I know.
Brett is like, I know.
No.
He's going to.
So, well, first it's going to, again, claw at Lusharosi.
Bring it.
And then it's going to attempt to lay its palm on Hellier.
Ooh, it
Could I use
got
my...
me.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it got me real good.
So
And
isn't it critical
it's
and counts as a? Oh,
It's
but
critical,
because-
but he's at 0 already, so he's just dying again, and his soul, which had receded back into his body, is again writhing in pain.
Ugh.
Damn.
So do I go to unstable?
Yes, you're unstable again and making death saving throws again.
So I'm going to call out to T-Hole. T-Hole, you need to drag Hellweir's body away from here.
Oh man, T-Hole, do it.
I respond, strength is my dump stat.
When you get back to town, you should have T-shirts made with that, just to remind everyone. So you can see it pulls the skin of its mouth back and seems almost as if it's laughing, but it's completely silent.
Daggerface, you have to say your line. That's why you're missing.
Daggerface is strangely quiet and does not, with his mask on, you can't really see if he was responding to that at all. It's a hit. That is a miss. So Daggerface, with his first hit, though, manages to bury the axe in the creature's shoulder. Kajika.
Well, let's shoot it again at disadvantage.
That's
There
a
you
hit.
go.
In time.
Only 20.
Yeah.
All right.
Teal.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll try to see if I can pull Hellweir, and drag him away. So I moved from where I was at. I moved 10 feet, which means I have 20 feet left. So I can maybe move him 10 feet away.
What's your strength score?
Score or modifier?
Score.
11.
Oh, I was thinking 8.
Yeah, I was thinking less than that.
Yeah.
So how much do you weigh, Hellweir?
300 pounds.
Wow.
Is that with
Just
your
barely
equipment?
within
That's without equipment.
How much do you weigh with your equipment?
I don't know. Really heavy.
You're wearing armor, right?
Yeah.
What kind of armor?
Chainmail.
Okay. And then with your weapons. So Hellweir or Keyhole, you grab Hellweir and you pull just to move him a little bit, and you discover you can't even drag his fat ass around.
Yeah.
Because your maximum drag weight is 330 pounds. So your feet are just skidding on the wooden floor as you try to back up.
He's too big for me.
That's what she said.
All right. I know what I must do.
But that would have been your turn, trying to move him.
Back up again. Don't
Yeah.
stay so close.
Yeah, so then I move 10, then I'll move back 10.
All right.
Okay. It's Darius.
All right. Well, so once again, bonus action. Spare the die.
I'm alive.
You're stable. And then another Sacred Flame. Eventually, our rolls are going to win out.
Yeah, there's more of us than him.
God damn it, son of a bitch.
Okay.
Lusharosi.
I'm moving here. With my first attack, I'm going to attempt to grapple.
Oh, you love
So that's athletics check, right?
Yes. I don't have athletics listed for him for some reason. I don't know why. But there we go.
Oh, fuck.
Who's the tie go to?
Normally, the tie would change. I think the tie is just, they say there's no change in the situation. So if he was grappled, he would still be grappled. If he wasn't grappled, then he's not grappled.
Okay. So I'm going to attempt it again. Fuck.
You're so good at these.
It's still grapple.
But you grappled him anyway.
All right.
Just wearing them down.
And then I'm going to, since I can now, is it only drag, or can I also push him?
You could push is a different action. You can pin him or try to pin him.
Well, because
Interaction.
when you have a grappled creature, you can move them up to half your movement, but it doesn't say if. Like I don't know.
And
if
you can move him without any check.
All right. So can I move him to like here?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what I would like to do. So I'll be here, and I want him to be here. And then so because I used my 2 attacks to grapple. Do I still get the opportunity to make an offhand attack?
I would say no.
Okay. All right. So then I don't think I have any other things that I can do as a bonus action. And that would be my turn.
Okay. Hellweir, you are unconscious, but you're stable, so you're not dying. The Bodak is going to try to mutually grapple Lusharosi.
Yeah, that's.
Hey now.
Oh boy. Oh no.
But it is unable to do so. Does it do? It's just it is, that having failed, going to try to lay its palm upon you. But it cannot do it. If only it had advantage. So Daggerface now he can hit him where he is, but he will move just in case Zarius wants in here.
He's got to make that save.
That is true. It's within 15 feet, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Failed. What's
1, 2, and 3 on the damage. All right. High rollers here. The whole battle.
Be right back.
Daggerface will try to chop him down. He hit the first time. Kajika.
All right. Try to hit him again. Good old disadvantage miss.
Teal.
I'm gonna give True Strike to Lusharosi.
Okay. Zarius.
All right. Yeah. Well, same old, Sacred Flame. Ooh. Really?
What I miss?
You have True Strike again.
Oh, nice.
So he failed, and the flames dart around his head, and you can see the skin is beginning to fall off around its skull.
I'll probably go ahead and step forward. No, I'll step behind. Yeah. Lusharosi here.
So Lusharosi, your turn. You have him grappled.
Okay. So my first. So I have True Strike. So my first action with my attack action will be to use a Reggie's longsword.
To hit.
All right. And then my next attack is actually going to be to shove him to the ground.
Okay.
Let's give Kajika super disadvantage.
Right, but it'll give it'll take away the disadvantage for
a couple of you.
Daggerface. Yeah. I don't know if it would it reduce my disadvantage as well?
Yeah, it can.
Okay.
He's prone.
I mean, that's why people usually do the shove like first. Not that it mattered in this case.
So,
Oh, it failed.
okay. So now he's shoved to the ground. And then since I used an actual attack,
I assume there's no real rule for this, but I assume when you shove him prone, you're not pinning him, which is its own thing. So I
Right.
assume you're letting go of the grapple as you shove him.
no, I can maintain the grapple while he's shoved to the ground.
Then you're prone too.
Mm, no, not by.
Because shove and grapple are different things.
Right, but it's like there's also a common tactic because grapple puts your speed to 0, and then shoving causes you to be prone. So if your speed is 0, you can't stand up from the prone until you break the grapple.
Okay.
You've swept the legs and you're now holding on.
Right. So the way I imagine it is I had him grappled, so maybe I had him by the neck. I've swept his legs, so now I'm still over him with like my hand on his neck while I'm punching.
Okay.
And then actually, since I have one hand on my sword, I don't get my bonus action for my offhand attack. So, so that's my turn. So I'll shout to Daggerface, Daggerface, get him now!
Look up there. All right, it is going to first attempt to grapple Lusharosi.
But not before making a wisdom save.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Failed.
That's good damage there.
Now
Yeah,
it will
that 1,
attempt.
2, 3.
Okay.
Now it will attempt to grapple Lusharosi.
Oh shit. Yeah!
So it can't do it. Its best bet. It's going to try that again since it can't get up. Doesn't think it can hit you otherwise.
That's right. Ah, shit.
So now it has you by the leg as it's like half trying to crawl up, gripped to your calf. But that's its turn. It's done. And Daggerface brings his axe down upon it with advantage, but also with disadvantage. So just a normal swing. And that's a hit.
Damn.
And that's a hit. And he manages to sever the creature at the lower back, its legs still twitching. And then it falls dead.
Then-
Sliding down Lusharosi's leg.
And T-Hole says, Daggerface!
And then Lusharosi says, well done, Daggerface, and then kind of collapses to his knees, exhausted from the
Daggerface
extended
goes over.
combat.
Daggerface goes over and sits down, doesn't really say anything.
The bodies are they're just laying there, right?
Yeah, these bodies, this demonic skeletons all disappeared.
Mm.
These bodies just continue to lay here.
I don't have like a knife or anything. Zarius will go over and take the arm, keeping the hand sort of like pointed downwards, and ask Daggerface to take the arm off, like to chop it.
And he takes his axe, pulls the arm out, and brings it down.
Lusharosi is going to look over and say, "We need to attend to Hellweir."
We should rest, Zarius says forcefully.
We need to do so where it is safe.
Agreed.
Yes.
Zarius will go up and pick up Hellweir. Actually, I probably have to drag him, but
Well, I can help you.
yeah. I got a 480 drag weight.
Well, what's your strength?
16.
All right, I got 18. So between the two of us, we should be able to get him.
Yeah.
T-Hole will just supervise.
Yep, that's how you do it.
Put your backs into it.
I like to think like Hellweir's dagger falls from his belt, and T-Hole like lifts that up in two hands and walks behind you carrying that. Stops for a minute, puts a hand on a wall, wipes his brow.
So Lusharosi still adamantly says, "I still think the best place for us to rest and recover is the chapel."
I disagree. There's untold dangers in that direction. That room is now empty. Pointing back towards Regia's room.
I agree with Zarius on this one. We should go to a place where we know is safe. I think either if we can't make the chapel, then our best bet is to sit in the announcement hall again, because we know at least that place is the safest. And they have free beer. Lest you've forgotten.
Yes, but we also still do not know how much time is passing outside the manor. For every moment we sit here, untold months could be passing.
That is true regardless of the room we are in, and we don't have a solid way to know which one that is. However, we do know that this hallway moved faster than the banquet hall, which also moved at a different speed than the announcement hall.
No, I do know that we can be safe in the chapel and that time will move more effectively or beneficially for us.
How would you know such things?
I made a bargain with the librarian.
Daggerface nearly falls out of his chair.
You what?
What do you mean you made a deal with the librarian?
Look, the situation has changed since we came in here. We've had a taste of the enemies that lie within. We know that Paradonna is planning something. There's too much at stake, and now with Salasri gone, we have to survive this, and we have to stop Paradonna, and we have to use the resources of this manor to get back Salasri.
So, whose soul did you sacrifice for us?
My own.
T-Hole just shakes his head.
Look, what's one more
Daggerface
warrior?
No! No!
What's-
As he charges at T-Hole, axe raised high.
What?
So, Teal's gonna run into Regia's office.
No! Ah!
So he brings the axe down, clipping your arm, and then you run off.
Yeah, so I run.
Are you gonna close the door?
Yeah.
I'll interpose myself here.
Okay.
Daggerface, calm yourself.
No! And he's trying to get around Zarius.
I'll hold him?
You try to grapple him.
Yeah, sure. Why not, I guess. Hey, I rolled well. Jesus Christ. The fuck? He's got a fucking +10? What the shit?
So he bursts by you and runs up to the door and begins pounding
Close
on
the
it.
door. Oh, yeah.
He did close the door.
Yeah. We're good.
I'm gonna see if I can move anything in front of the door.
Wait, what did T-Hole say? Must have missed that part.
I don't even remember anymore.
T-Hole, did you say something to set him off?
I didn't say anything.
He just shook his head.
I shook my head at Lusharosi.
What the fuck?
So Lusharosi is gonna run over to Daggerface and try and grapple him, and ask him what has gotten into you?
At this point, you don't have to. Like, the door closed, and he's beating on it, but it's not opening. So he sinks to his knees, like sort of weakly pounding his fist at the door, and he's just in tears, weeping. No,
Daggerface, what has overcome you?
T-Hole said I had to do it. T-Hole said we'd all be dead. T-Hole made me make a deal with the devil.
Oh.
Daggerface, what are you saying?
T-Hole said we would all die in here, and that's why I agreed to give up my soul. So he took me in there like right after the fight, and then we had to like make a whole deal, and it was a ceremony and a stupid joke about we have to use blood. Ha ha! No, we don't. And he tells that joke every fucking time.
And then you hear T-Hole run through the door. You're breaking the contract. I told you you're breaking the contract.
Actually, you hear nothing from the other side of that door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a fucking time difference there.
All right, never mind. So you heard nothing.
Yeah, in fact, you can figure out what you want to do for the 8 hours that are at least going to pass probably before they make their way through the door.
I'm sleeping. Getting all my spell slots back.
Yeah. We'll see how long it actually takes. But.
So, Lusharosi just he lowers his head and he wraps Daggerface in an embrace.
Zarius will move forward and like gesture for you to take him away from the door.
T-Hole wanted to get a book that the librarian said he had, and he didn't want to give up his own soul because he's immortal or something, and he has to get his empire back. So he told me to do it. So he said we had to give up someone, and then.
Daggerface, look at me. We have both made sacrifices. And now we have to live with this. So, with what time we have left before the devil collects, we need to make sure that this sacrifice is not made in vain. We are both warriors. This is what we do. We throw down our lives. We give all that we have and more so that others may walk within the light, that we might kindle the light even if we ourselves cannot walk within and know its warmth and its grace.
So give me a persuasion check.
Were you able to like pull him away from the door so I can go in?
I'm not even worrying about that right this second.
So he is still, there's still some tears pouring out from under his mask, but he has stopped sobbing openly. All right. Let's do what we have to do and get out of this place.
And believe me, before this is done, we will have words with T-Hole, and we will ensure that justice is served.
Not entirely sure how you plan to enact upon this justice.
I am not saying that I'm going to hurt T-Hole, but what he has done, convincing this innocent man who has done nothing but help us, convincing him to sacrifice his soul so that T-Hole might find benefit. That is a selfish act, and it cannot be forgiven.
Perhaps you should bargain for his soul back then.
I do not believe that that is how it works.
I wouldn't know. I've never made a deal with the devil. And I'll open the door.
Okay, so meanwhile, inside the room, you close the door and it's completely silent inside. I assume you're looking for something to push up against the door. There's really not much. You might be able to take one or both of the chairs in the room and shove them like under the knob.
Yeah.
But it would be, given you can't move Hellweir, moving like the bookcases would be too much.
Yeah, it'd be like a feeble attempt, whatever it was.
So, but like 10 minutes passes and then 20, no one has come through the door.
So, I'm just going to sit down in the corner. Because I have no idea what time is like here. So I'm just going to kind of catch my breath.
Okay, so another 10 minutes passes. Then an hour passes. Then another hour passes. And the door opens. And Zarius is there.
Zarius. You have finally come in. It's been 2 hours in this room, I guess, since I ran in here.
It has been 2 minutes out there.
Interesting.
Lusharosi is going to stand up to his
I was
full height.
assuming, by the way, it took 5. So you can figure out the differential between the two spaces if you want.
So Lusharosi is going to stand up to his full height and walk into the room as well. And he's going to glare at T-Hole. And he's going to say, know that this is not done. You will answer for what you have committed.
I imagine T-Hole is there looking all old man, sweet and innocent.
Don't worry. I've read the contract. I have a plan. And since you so happen to also have taken the deal, and you don't live very long as emperor by making deals with devils, you convince other people to do that on your behalf. I think there's a way we could get out of this. But unfortunately, now you're not going to be able to help.
And unfortunately, you've gambled with souls that do not belong to you. You've gambled with a life that you had no right to gamble.
Contract. You've made the contract, yes?
Yes.
Then you know it is voluntary, yes?
What difference does that make?
Then it means it was voluntarily done. Therefore, ergo, even if I thought that it was the right thing to do, because it is, and you know what? Many times decisions are difficult, and you don't take pleasure in making them. And yes, it wasn't just out of pure vanity, but without Sulashri, which I remind you what happened with that, is the only...
You do not need to remind me of my own sins.
Then that is the main reason that we have failed room after room, and which is why
Be
I
careful,
thought
T-hole.
in your hubris, you would not stoop yourself low enough to actually take a deal. Therefore, somebody had to be the hero. That somebody named Daggerface.
No.
And that is... that.
You are the villain in this story. You committed this sin. Yes, Daggerface made this contract willingly, but he would not have done so had he not been influenced by you. You, supposed ruler of an empire, would throw away somebody else's life before throwing away your own? If I recall, you could have easily used your own soul in that bargain. Why did you not sacrifice yourself, T-hole?
Because I don't know the state of my own soul.
Then you, in your attempt to wiggle out of a contract, you're in the best position to do so. If you don't have a soul or you don't know the condition of it, then it is not yours to give. And if the bargain were made, you are the most able to get out of it. Instead, you sacrifice Daggerface.
The librarian also seemed pretty excited about having my soul in particular, which didn't thrill me. Daggerface is
How
just
would you
another
even know?
created soul.
How would you even know? You didn't know that he came to us. You did not see how he reacted in response to the possibility of getting each individual.
So was he not very excited to get you?
That is not what we are talking about, and do not distract from the point of this. We need to survive this place, and now myself and Daggerface need to live with the consequences of the choices that I have made and that you have impugned upon Daggerface. So we need to go. We need to survive, and we need to act before we let more time pass. But just know, T-hole, that this is not going to go unanswered.
There is a way out.
So you say. And then Lusharosi's gonna walk out, and over his shoulder he's gonna say, now we need to go to the chapel, because as I said, I know intimately that that is where we will have our best chance to rest.
Then you know there's demons in there.
We are not equipped for demons. Even before this last fight, we were not equipped for demons.
I am in no condition to fight anything.
How? Wait a minute.
That's why I think.
Where do you even know? How do you even know that there are demons in there?
I have my sources.
A librarian?
What other sources in this manor would that be?
He's stated to me that it is the safest place to rest.
Yes, and that there also may still be demons in there. Although he wasn't certain.
We are wasting time. He is invested in us surviving because he needs to withhold his portion of the contract.
Withhold or uphold?
He needs to uphold his conditions.
Yes.
He would not recommend that place if there was not a degree to which he was certain that we would be able to use it safely.
So Tearful throws up his hands and he's like, "Fine, we'll go to the chapel." And he'll get up and like dust off his robes, and he'll plod along. But if there's demons in there,
there's also Hansy.
What?
There's something called Hansy. The librarian calls him Hansy. He's in the alchemy lab, he said.
Did he say what Hansy is?
I think from what he described that he's like some sort of golem that Regia created. He said he's not all that bad, but he's apparently unpredictable or something.
Yes, I do recall him mentioning that.
do we have to go through the alchemical lab to get to the chapel?
Have you looked at the fucking map? There's one entrance into the chapel, and it's through that lab.
I see a wall.
That may not be wise. I mean, if Hansy is unpredictable, and if we disturb Hansy, then that may be as bad as just going through. Look, I don't trust the devil. I know that devils use truth to lie and manipulate. They use facts in misleading ways. I've already made this sacrifice, and I don't expect anybody else to follow in my footsteps. And then he looks solemnly at Daggerface, and his eyes kind of sadden, but then he hardens his look again. And he says, I will go. I will make sure that it is safe. And then I will return when I know. And if I don't, then you'll know that it was not safe.
What's Hellweir doing during all this?
Is he even conscious?
Yeah. I was
Oh, well, that's right.
Yeah, I didn't raise him, so
otherwise I would be,
roll a d4, see how many hours it takes for him to come back.
Let's go after the chapel and just carry Hellweir.
Hellweir?
I've not raised him because I don't really have spare spell slots.
2 hours.
Alright.
So if only they had placed you in the room with T-Hole.
Do that.
Well, he was kind of running, so.
Yeah, true. Missed out on all the fun.
Yeah, Hellweir wakes up and doesn't know any of this.
Yeah,
All right. So after a moment of silence, after making that statement, Lusharosi would turn to go down the hall towards the alchemical lab.
Yeah, and I'll say you notice that Kajika's nowhere to be seen.
Oh God.
Kajika's like, ah, fuck it, I'll go make a deal.
That's
Zari's
awkward.
staying in that room.
um
He's not moving.
okay.
Kajika's like, I want twice whatever you gave those guys.
I want an instant 8-hour rest. All my bullets back.
So would Lusharosi notice that Kajika was not there before he went off to go to the alchemical lab?
I'd say that I assume that just reflexively there must be some who's with me kind of look around.
Yeah.
And that's when you notice that Hellweir is nowhere to be seen.
Okay. I would then yell or mutter, Asheros, curse it, and then try to run to see if he's in the library.
Before you do, which room are you in now, Hellweir? Or Kajika, I mean, you may have moved.
Yeah, the room that's got the big table in it. I'm sitting down,
Okay.
hoping that little dipshit servitor is bringing me a drink because I need it.
Yeah, the servant has basically been moving plants around. I mean, if you want a drink, he says, I can get you a drink. I'm gonna have to go into the kitchen for that. Unless you want ale, I can get ale really easy.
Something, just shut up.
So he goes off into the announcement hall and comes back with a crystal pitcher of ale and a glass.
I don't need the glass.
So he places the glass on the table anyway, and it vanishes, and then puts the pitcher down in front of you.
And it vanishes.
It empties.
So Lusharosi, you're going to look for him?
Yeah, I would run into the library, which is I think the same room that he's in.
Yeah, so you go into what on the map is the banquet hall. The librarian has referred to it as the Great Room a few times.
Okay.
And you see him, he's sitting there at the table, drinking an entire pitcher of ale directly from the pitcher.
Kajika, you haven't made a deal as well, have you?
Well, does it matter at this point if I did?
Yes.
And Daggerface enters the room.
Kajika, did you make a deal?
Would you like to know that answer?
Yes.
Does it make the circumstances any better?
No.
A servant of Asheros making deals with the devil. So, Daggerface, can you open this door back here?
The door to get outside, you mean?
Get out the goddamn door behind me.
So he walks around the table to where you are. Yeah. Sure, I can try. And he starts to walk back towards the entrance hall.
Okay.
So last time we were all really close together, and it just sort of made us disappear and reappear.
Wait,
So you may.
Kajika, are you sure that you want to open that door? We don't know how much time has passed outside. We may not be able to get back into this manor.
Well, I think you pretty much got things settled here, haven't you? Got your deals done?
I don't understand what you're doing right now.
This group can't be trusted.
So, you're just going to leave?
That's right.
Why? You say that we can't be trusted, but we've been fighting together for so long. You know us.
Apparently, I don't.
So you, among all of us, are beyond judgment.
Didn't say that.
You do not have your own sins that you must answer for.
Didn't say that. I'd like to walk out of here. But I don't know whose side anybody's on now.
I am still on the side of light. I may not be able to walk within Asheros's light, but I can still be a warrior and kindle it to the best that I can so that others may tread where I cannot. I have not changed. I am still who I am.
You have changed a lot. For sure.
You're right. I have. I have failed Asheros. I was blessed with a weapon of significant power that could turn the tide in the favor of his light. And I let it go. Stolen from me. Fell asleep before I could even resist. I have sins that I do not even know because my past was stolen from me. My memory gone as I was encased in stone for untold centuries. I have gotten to know much more about my own failings. And I also know that I don't matter. In the end, it doesn't matter for me. It would be vanity to think that I have any purpose beyond my servitude to Asheros, beyond helping those that I can. And if I have the power to do that at no one else's cost but to my own, then I consider that a win. And you're right. I do not know what is in store for me as a result of this bargain. But I'm not going to just lay down and die and not let this sacrifice be made in vain. And I do consider it a sacrifice, because I did not do it for myself or for my own reasons, but to help my friends, you, and Zarius, and T-Hole, even Hellweir, as much as I can't stand him, and I certainly don't understand Asheros's reasons for blessing him, despite his crimes and despite his evil. I don't understand what Asheros has intended for me, nor do I know how to best serve him. We are all mortal and we are all fallible. But I make do with what I have, and I do the best that I can. So if you wish to go, if you think that is the wisest option for you, then I will not stop you. If you honestly believe that I can no longer be trusted, if you believe that Daggerface can no longer be trusted, then you need to make the choice that is best for you, as I have made the choice that I think is best for others, at my cost.
What's Daggerface doing?
Daggerface is he's clearly listening, but he is probably consciously keeping his back to you. He's sort of facing the door close to it. He's got like one hand on the doorknob as he was about to open it, and you two are discussing this behind him. So he's sort of resting his head forward on the door frame. But as there's this pause, he stands up and half turns around, his one hand still on the door frame, and says, "So, are you leaving Colossus and the Deadpools? Maybe we should all just decide whether or not we're staying in here or leaving. You may not be the only one who feels this way. Maybe you can still find common cause with the other members of the group."
What does the other members who haven't made deals think?
Well, I guess we don't know who hasn't made deals. T-Hole actually has. He just didn't give up anything for his part of the deal.
So was part of the deal the devil was kept in his circle until he gave you the information and then you freed him?
No, I freed him and gave him my soul before he gave us anything.
Yeah.
And then he used an illusion to like cover up the damage to the circle. Probably so he could lure in other people.
I think I got a lecture about dealing with devils in the beginning of this whole endeavor.
Well, actually, he said that Satan Mamadati is in fact just a very powerful devil who was trapped on this plane centuries ago and basically took over the religion of the hobgoblins and has been tricking your people into giving him power by worshiping him ever since. So technically, like, your whole nation has made a deal with a literal devil, way more powerful than him.
You're not helping your cause.
But I don't know. Has Hellweir made a deal with him? I don't know. Zarius? I don't know.
Considering how Hellweir's been doing, I doubt he has.
That's still doing.
Maybe the devil, the librarian, wants one sold like right away, right now, and so he's trying to kill him off. I wouldn't put it past him.
So go get Zarius and Hellware and see what they think.
Well, Hellware's not thinking anything right now.
He's just laying on the hallway floor still.
Just dreaming of ripping elves' ears off.
But Daggerface takes his hand off the door and leaves the room. And he hoists up Hellware. It's really no problem for him to lift up Hellware, placing him in like a fireman's carry around his shoulder. And then says to Zarius, Kajiko would like to speak with you. And then looks at T-Hole, not you. And then he turns and walks back into the announcement hall and lays Hellware out on one of the couches.
So I guess while they were talking, I was examining what was on this desk.
It appears to most some of it are circles that look like they're summoning circles. A lot of it, though, appears to be day-to-day correspondence for an Inquisitor of Lusharosi. It's all, well, I guess, I don't have it up. Do you read High Imperial?
Nope. I got Draconic and Goblin.
Yeah.
Unless
So
Goblin is High Imperial.
No, it is not. A lot of it appears, you could recognize the language, but a lot of it appears to be in High Imperial.
T-Hole's in here, though, right? He knows that, right?
I know Ataran.
I know High Imperial.
But you can't be trusted. You're Ginger now.
Yeah. Hey, for now I'm a daywalker. I may become more ginger down the spectrum, but
It's true. Maybe if you ask, Sarius can cure you of this gingivitis.
All right.
I mean, I bet you T-Hole has comprehend languages. Close that door, you'll have hours and hours to read.
Indeed.
I mean, I do. I can. While everybody's going, like that's probably what I would be doing. Because I would ritually cast comprehend language. And just
They were speaking for at least 5 minutes. So that's 2 hours for us.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
I would not have closed that door.
You close the door and 7 Bodaks reveal themselves.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just tell T-Hole to search this room, see if there's anything of value.
Of course, that's what I was planning on doing. Besides resting when I came here, anyway.
You had 2 hours.
So give me an investigation check. You would guess from looking it over. First, everything in here is, from your perspective, 2 centuries old at least. A lot of the books are a lot older than that. They're all in very good condition. They haven't fallen apart, which is, with the time differential and everything else, it's hard to say how long it's been for them. But they all appear to be well kept. They're not in perfect condition for the most part. But you would guess that given the age of some of the books might be valuable independently to like a collector or a library. But, not knowing what the contents of the notes are, you don't see anything that's all that useful.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you want anything like related to a calligrapher's kit, there's ink and pens and of various sorts in here. Sealing wax and stamps and things like that.
I think I can grab it. Yeah, you know what? I'll have a calligrapher's kit because I think I'm proficient in it.
But yeah, Zarius will walk in. He will have taken that that Bodak hand and like tied it off on his waist as a potential. And he's just I guess I could like take a quick glance to see if that eye still does something, but like only a very quick glance.
I'm sorry. What were you? I was typing something and missed some of the words. What were you looking at?
I wasn't sure if that Bodak hand still has its effect.
Oh no! When they died, the gaze effect ended.
Really? That's dumb.
I mean, there is an eye still in the hand.
Yeah. Then I guess I don't really need the hand. I was just assuming that the effect still lingered, but like a beholder eye.
Not exactly. I mean, but they're trying to like feed on your soul when they do that. So once they're dead, they don't do as much feeding.
Sure. Okay. Well. Okay. So I'll keep it. I might take the others. I might be able to harvest that.
Yeah, you might be able to do something with them. Got a bag full of arms, like a golf bag, just hands sticking out of it.
High five. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, I come in and I have a seat, I guess. Prop my bum leg up on a stool.
Okay. So Zarius enters the room. Daggerface brings in the unconscious body of Hellweir. T-Hole's still back somewhere out in another room. Are you going to try to come in?
Well, Daggerface said he didn't want me to, and he's pretty upset with me right now, so I'm not going to really go against his wishes.
Don't want an axe thrown at me.
Good time to get jumped by monsters.
So, but other than T-Hole, you're all in this front room.
So, what are your thoughts there, Zarius, on our devil-dealing compatriots?
I look to Lusharosi. I'm quite disappointed. And to Daggerface, he was coerced.
So how do we rectify this?
Is the devil still here?
I don't know. Call out to the librarian, see if he's still there.
Yeah. Is he still here?
When Kajika yells out for the librarian, you hear, "What?"
I guess that is a yes. Daggerface. Well, I guess I'm before I asked. So the circle has been broken, right? Do I think that if I had like some chalk or whatever, if I closed the mark back up, that it would seal him back in?
Give me an Arcana check.
Not my forte. Hey, that's not bad.
You suspect it's more involved than just fixing whatever's been broken on the seal. That once it was broken, the magic probably faded from it.
Some sort of like permanence magic circle effect, almost.
Yeah, like magic circle. You also have to, get him in there, and it might not have the same effect as Mordenkainen's magic circle,
Probably not.
but it could bind him to the spot.
Yeah.
Like Mordenkainen's circle was clearly odd because the librarian could move around, at least within the confines of whatever he was calling the library.
Yeah.
Magic circle usually keeps him like inside
In the
the circle.
Yeah.
But you see the librarian comes through the door. What do you want? Is there? You need something?
I look to him and I sort of motion back to Daggerface and say, "Return his soul."
My friend, a deal is a deal.
Your deal was made under false pretenses.
I was not even slightly made under false pretenses. Daggerface, I've provided you with information, right? Yes. That was the deal. He gives me the soul, he breaks the seal, I give T-Hole his book, and I proceed to provide you with information. I heard y'all arguing. Yeah, obviously I made a similar deal with Lusharosi. Also gave him information. Kind of some overlap in the information, I'll admit, but what are you going to do? Besides, if you know anything about these things, it's not just you cancel the contract, you don't feel like it anymore, and it's over.
But librarian, I am concerned because you told me that you would be able to communicate with me mentally, and as long as the doors were open, the doors to my knowledge were open, and I was calling out to you.
I'm sorry, when were you calling out to him?
I gave you whispers, all kinds of whispers. And then I emailed you. I'm like, "Are you getting my whispers?"
Okay, I didn't see your email. Don't see your whispers. There was a point in there, maybe I missed it because I was getting lots of whispers. And so I was like madly typing in response to a lot of people's different whispers. I don't see them in the chat though either.
The way that I did it was I clicked on the whisper to DM after I clicked on Lusharosi. Here, let me see if it even goes to you. I'm going to do it right now.
Okay, that one I got.
Okay.
But I'm not seeing any others.
Okay, so I'll just revoke that statement then.
You weren't actually reaching out to him. You were just
Clearly not.
You've got to actually
too frustrated.
you've got to actually picture my face when you do this.
Did I not tell you that?
But I've been talking to T-Hole and talking to Daggerface. In fact, I will tell them if you really want to rest. T-Hole was speaking from genuine knowledge when he said, "This room here is probably your second best bet." Like if you spent say 8 or 10 hours in here, you might only lose 2-3 weeks outside.
Is that
Whereas the chapel, if you fix the chapel, I think it'll essentially be like 1-to-1 or close to.
What are the adversaries we would have along the way?
Oh yeah. I went through a lot of those. Let's see. So your giant elf is actually not an elf. She is what's called a herald, sometimes called a herald of darkness. She looks like an elf, so I guess I understand the giant elf description. But not necessarily, I mean, I think you would say from your perspective that she's evil, but she's not like allied with the devils or the demons. She's got her own separate side that she's working for.
I'm sorry, librarian, but Zarius, is this really the time to talk about this? We've already made deals to get this information. I think that we have another pressing matter, which is Kajika is considering leaving the manor and leaving the group.
I would not blame him. But I would likely stay.
All right, well, I can see you guys need some time to talk. I'm going to go back to the library, I guess. So yeah, if you need anything, you can either, call out to me if I'm not responding.
Just leave.
Right.
Osiris put me here. Osiris put me here. I will see what he has in store for these creatures.
And you hear the librarian say, "Oh shit, guys, you guys need to come right now."
Lusharosi.
T-Hole, I guess everybody can roll for initiative, but we'll do that next time. It's late enough. T-Hole, you hear the librarian yell this, and then turn and look down the hallway and see one of those skeleton demons coming for you.
Nice.
Go invisible.
Yeah. Now with all my 0 spell slots.
Or just shut the door.
Yeah, well,
And let him take 8 hours to get to you.
Yeah, just take a rest. Close that door, take a rest.
so yeah, I would just close the door right away and barricade it, and then
Again, though, your barricade is a chair.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have 5 minutes before he makes it the next 30 feet to get to the door. But you will have some time. You might be able to do something. You will have, let's say it actually takes him a whole round to get there.
I mean, I feasibly could shut the door then if I could. I know that it takes if I can get 10 minutes, I could cast Tiny Hut. Would Tiny Hut protect me?
Tiny Hut would definitely protect you, but I don't think you're going to get quite 10 minutes.
Not even with my chair-cade?
With the Cherokee, you might just get 10 minutes. If you get lucky, you might get 15. If you're unlucky, you'll get 10. But Leoma's Tiny Hut actually takes 11 to cast ritually. and then when he gets inside, he can close the door, and then he'll have hours to go to town before those guys show up.
That's true.
He's not that smart though, so
I was gonna say,
it's unlikely. Yeah, it's unlikely that he is going to do that. But other than we'll do the fight next time.
Yeah.
Kajika can think about if he wants to stay or go. If he wants to go, I have to figure out how to introduce a new PC here. Who's not evil and working for demons, presumably.
Or
maybe is.
Or is, that'd be easier.
Maybe that decomposing elf from the gemstone.
The thing just oozed. You feasibly the librarian's free.
I was gonna say, it's totally possible for you to have an evil character and join up. That's what Omerta was, and isn't in Mike's game.
Yeah.
Well, and
very
Hellraise.
obviously he's evil.
It's not evil.
Especially now that he knows that he's working for someone that's going to bring about the dark morning.
Plus, and now Lusharosi and Daggerface, obviously. They don't know they're evil yet. That'll be a big reveal.
Well,
That was beautifully done.
yeah, that was a bombshell. I had no idea that was gonna happen.
I was
asking for it-
disappointed. I was disappointed it didn't come up like first thing.
Yeah.
But luckily Lusharosi revealed it, and you'd have to kind of see some of the correspondence, but Daggerface is extremely disturbed by all of this.
Mhm.
So hearing that Lusharosi also sacrificed his soul, he realized that essentially there was a bit of a trick in what the librarian did.
Yep.
Yeah.
The librarian would disagree with that assessment.
Right.
I'm guessing he asked all of us, yeah?
Yeah, he asked everyone.
Okay, yeah, cool. All right. Yeah.
Some of you didn't respond at all. And I actually would have cut it off after Lusharosi because Dustin was the first to respond.
Yeah.
Then Mike. And so I basically just let them finish up what they wanted to do in order. I mean, they kind of went serially while we were doing it, but then the characters went in order. So Daggerface actually gave his soul first, and the librarian had to come up with an excuse to keep Lusharosi away for a couple minutes so that he could close this deal with Daggerface and then get Lusharosi in there and get everybody away so he could close the deal with Lusharosi. Then tell them they weren't allowed to talk to anybody else about this.
Yeah.
Way to stick to that arrangement.
Well, it became obvious once he said that he knows for a fact. My God damn it, Lusharosi.
Yeah.
Damn you all to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that it would be a big bombshell when I revealed that. But, I mean, I think it also, Lusharosi, as I'm playing him, I'm finding him to be much, much more complex than I first envisioned him. And it does fit within his kind of psyche and way of reasoning.
Zarius is very agitated with him.
Well, Lusharosi is very agitated with himself.
If that door would have worked, I would have left.
Kajika actually went to the door and tried it on his own without telling any of you. It just so happened that without Daggerface there, you can't just open the door and walk through. Technically, it may not work with Daggerface there. You don't really know yet.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Or it might work, but like Kajika and Daggerface will disappear.
And then it's hours until they return.
Well, or longer.
Shit.
I mean, right now, the entranceway is not... in order to get the most benefit out of staying in the announcement hall, you have to close the door again. Because right now, it is not synced. It is not at that nice little, a few, like 4 times normal speed thing. It's really synced with the armory corridor at the moment.
Yeah. Figured everything was ramping up to whatever the fastest one is.
It is, I would say, needlessly complicated. I don't know why I decided to design it the way I did, but it is more complicated than defaulting to the fastest one. But as the librarian pointed out to Lusharosi, you can kind of, in some cases, use this in reverse. Like if you can find a place where the time is flying by in one room, like in the office now, you could like fight something, go in there and rest, come out, fight something, go in there and rest, and get like a short rest in while they only get a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, I thought at least the reveals went well.
Yeah.
And Peter, I'm only kidding about introducing a character. I'm sure I'll figure out a way. In fact, will send you some information on some people that could be in here. Not that you have to play any of those. I can figure out another way to introduce somebody, but just to throw ideas out.
Okay.
How weird doesn't know any of this, so he might wake up and Kajika's gone.
Kajika's gone. Yeah.
Kajika's gone. Nobody's talking to anybody else.
Yeah. And then the Daggerface sulking all the time.
T-Hole's just as gay as ever.
Hellweir's gonna get a hell of a wake up call because we got this fucking skeleton rolling through, and like, god damn it, a heal.
Well, here is one thing. It is really fortuitous that Daggerface carried Hellweir into the announcement hall, because the skeleton is absolutely evil enough, and did it before, to just make sure he's dead before going on and trying to get T-Hole. On the other hand, T-Hole would definitely be able to get the tiny hut up in all that in that extra time that it took to kill Hellweir.
Oh man.
T-Hole could have sacrificed himself, or Hellweir could have sacrificed himself to save T-Hole. Unwillingly. But luckily, he is laying on a couch 2 rooms away.
Also, through while I was down for that whole long period, I wasn't doing anything. I was looking up that rule which you guys were talking about, the grapple shove thing, and that's legit. I'm going to be using that every combat now, because you can have infinite fucking advantage on attack rolls. It's insane.
Well, I mean, it's kind of all right, because if they're prone, then all of our ranged guys have disadvantage.
Right.
Yeah, but if I pin them, but then I don't get to attack them, everyone has advantage.
So that negates the disadvantage of the ranged guys.
Yeah. I often think about tweaking the grapple rules, because there's a few weird things about them. Like, it seems weird to me you can grapple someone and attack them with a long sword.
Yeah, that's what I was, I was doing that too, because I've been, I can grapple and use a 2-hand sword, and I was like, that makes no sense. So I've just
you have to have a free hand to grapple, so I don't think you could use a 2-handed sword, really.
Oh, look, no, in the grappler feat you can. And I was just like, that makes no sense. Yeah.
You're grappling with your prehensile feet.
And then,
that's what the feet does. It makes the feet makes your actual feet prehensile.
Nice.
But yeah, so I would have done that sooner with the thing, but I didn't want to get automatic hits from its thing if it grappled me, which it then did, and thankfully Daggerface killed it before it could take advantage.
Yeah.
Right. And that is one of its special abilities. So if it can grapple you, it doesn't have to roll to hit you with its eye thing.
But yeah. Grapple shove. That's fucked. That's insane.
I mean, that's fine. I have to look up the rule, but I'm sure that must be correct. I just wasn't aware of it.
So yeah, there was 2 disputes kind of thing. The person who makes all the rules or whatever, I forgot his name.
Matt Mercer or not Matt Mercer. Shit, what's his name?
Jeremy
Crawford.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. That
or
was
Mike
talking about
Merles.
it, but he
Enrico
wasn't
Palazzo.
talking about in the context that we were doing it. He was talking about it in if an opponent wants to break it, they can just shove you, and then that breaks the grapple and the shove component.
Yeah, because it's forced movement, so that would make sense.
Yeah. But you can grapple and shove them because their movement is 0 when you're grappling them, so they just fall down and you're still grappled. Because a shove.
And again, T-Hole has not had historically the best results with grappling.
I have a 0 modifier.
I mean, Hellweir hasn't.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. How many rounds did you try and grapple with that barbarian Amazon?
The berserker woman.
She fucked me up. Yeah.
in the bedroom.
She kept hitting you with weapons, and you kept trying to grapple her.
I was doing a battle
Well,
of-
he dragged her.
He did grapple her.
Howler's the one that dragged her into the bedroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the whole building was set on fire.
And my donkey.
Yes, and the donkey burned. Sally the donkey burned to
No,
death.
that was my first donkey, my first love. Sally, I found later on in the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right. Sally was killed by the Yeti.
yeah.
Or what was it? The Wendigo who came back.
Yeah.
It was a werewolf like Wendigo.
Rip Sally.
So yeah, we will pick it up with probably with Kajika's decision.
Yeah. Oh, actually, combat maybe, and then.
Right. Well, that will
Still
also be up to Kajika. Kajika might be like, nope, I am no longer a Deadpool.
Good luck with that. Get your librarian to help you.
Shit.
What I actually kind of like best about it is, to me, the most evil thing is T-Hole convincing Daggerface that it would be like super, super heroic of him to make this sacrifice.
I know, right? That's so great.
Yeah, when Lusharosi found out about that, because I remember as the game's going on, I'm like, there's something wrong with Daggerface, but the librarian said specifically to Lusharosi that his bindings prevented him from speaking or trying to make a deal with the owner of the manor.
He was very specific. He is forbidden from soliciting these sorts of deals from the owner of the manor.
Right.
But T-Hole can solicit away.
Right. So I was wondering, did he just sell his soul as well? But then I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. He couldn't have done that. And I was like, there's nobody that would get Daggerface to sell his soul. What?
T-Hole rolled a 19 on his persuasion check.
And in all honesty, if I wasn't able to persuade Daggerface, T-Hole would have surrendered his own. But he was gonna try to use Daggerface first.
And that's the other interesting thing is, although you can see what T-Hole did as evil, you can also see it as just like realpolitik. That who here really is the least valuable? Really, it's probably Daggerface. So
yeah, as far as Teal is concerned, like Daggerface got us here, and he fulfilled his purpose that we needed him for. He wrote his wife saying that he was dead, that Samus Holbein was dead, and he was taking on a life of Daggerface. So he figured that he probably didn't have all that much to lose.
Okay.
yeah, so I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that T-Hole doesn't think what he did was evil, even wrong.
Yeah, I thought so. T-Hole was thinking that it was not the best decision that could be made, but it was the most realistic.
Even though Daggerface was crying while he signed the contract, his actual signature on the contract is smudged with his own tears.
Oh my god.
I felt terrible as the player character, and T-Hole also felt bad, but T-Hole thinks I think there's a way out of it.
Wow.
I mean, you have to remember that this devil, is being played by Kurt, who's an actual lawyer.
I mean, I didn't spend hours going over that contract though. There could be a loophole. I mean, the interesting thing is, even if you find a loophole and can break the contract, it's still possible, like when Daggerface or Lusharosi dies and they go to be judged, that they're going to get like the stern stare from the gods who are like, remember when you tried to sell your soul to the devil?
Yeah.
A devil.
Right. Lake of Fire, please. Mine's on the left.
But yeah, like I really got the chance to kind of have Lusharosi share his insight into his reasoning with that, because he really doesn't believe that he's worth anything, especially after all of his failings. So this is like the one way that he might be able to offer something that could have some use to the greater good, and two, the ultimate self-punishment that he can inflict upon himself.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, Petrie.
Hmm.
However you justify it, Petrie, you idiot.
Hey, I'm not
Crazy, man.
killing myself in front of a big bad.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could
But I
still live a
guess-
long, fruitful life.
I guess I
Just,
am the chosen
just what
one.
happens when he dies.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was why that's why Daggerface ran away after getting injured again when fighting against this Bodak. Was for a second, for at least a couple rounds, he was thinking like, "Holy shit! If I die here." Like it would have taken if he got hit one more time really hard, he might have gone down. He doesn't want that soul selling thing to like take effect immediately.
I thought for sure he was going to run out. I kept following him around because I was afraid he was going to get killed or something. I'm like, no, he may sold his soul. That's why he's running around.
That actually, he wouldn't have done that. I don't think. I mean, maybe if the Bodak killed you all and came in after him, then okay, that's different. But he wouldn't have just completely left the building. So that didn't really occur to me. But yeah, that would have been funny. Where's Daggerface? Oh, he's not in the building anymore. How do we get out of here? Oh, we can't.
Time to take our chances on the astral plane.
Damn.
All right.
Wow.
So I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was it was very entertaining.
Yeah. Wow.
It was very entertaining the moment that like Daggerface ran after T-Hole. the realization that both kind of went in.
Yeah.
I was just watching the looks on everyone's faces, and it was very good to see. I think that would be a very rewarding like montage.
Wow.
Right. And I was conscious of the fact that like he heard what Lusharosi had to say. So he immediately was like, what? And then he immediately, without really explaining, ran after T-Hole and tried to kill him.
It's like, and it was like, okay.
And it was only when he's beating on the door that he actually explained.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck.
That was fun.
All right.
See you guys most of you Thursday.
See you.
Yeah.
There.
All of you
See you then.
Thursday.
Yeah.
And then next week to pick up McCormick's Folly.
Oh yeah.
Some emails will be coming out.
Yeah,
So
every
look out for
time
those.
McCormick's Folly gets together, I expect it to be the end.
Yeah.
But then we just screw around in the mansion. But we can't do that anymore.
Right, that's probably why he got rid of the mansion. We're just gonna screw around in this cave forever.
We're safe here, right? They can't get down here. No xenomorphs, no spores.
Right. This is the new society. This is where the Morlocks get founded. Did anyone bring any women?
There's one zombie elf alien thing.
Oh, gross.
Did anyone bring any living women?
I don't know. Is Sunny a woman?
We'll just have to find out.
The Morlock half-bear society is founded here.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to kill the broadcast or?
Oh yeah. Good point.